Hello, friends. Once again, it's an honor to welcome you back to Rick's Garage. Today, I'd like to share with you 5 different methods for loosening brake bleeder nuts. The first of which are ordinary wrenches, penetrating oil, and a hammer. These next 3 methods will also use the penetrating oil. This is an impact driver. I've reviewed this tool on my channel. This is the CTA VibroShock Impact Socket Set 1000. I've also reviewed this on my channel. This works very well. This is the Laser Impact Glow Plug Removal Kit. It's made for removing glow plugs on diesel motors, but it also works very well with bleeder nuts. And lastly, I want to share with you is thermal shock, using a torch to carefully heat the bleeder nut and then quickly freezing it. And I like to use a product called CRC Freeze Off, but water will work just as well. So I'm going to review these 5 methods of loosening a bleeder nut. Now, before I demonstrate any of these methods, make sure you wear safety glasses. Always wear safety glasses. In the shop that I worked for the past 44 years, you weren't allowed in the building without safety glasses. They're very important. Nothing's more important than your eyes. So let's get started with the first method, using ordinary wrenches, penetrating oil, and a hammer. So first of all, we're going to remove this little cover that goes on there. And I'm going to take some Kroil and I'm going to spray it on there. Okay. Now you could let it sit overnight, but for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to try it right away. Now, you do not want to throw a wrench on there and just try to power it off. You'll snap it for sure. So what you want to do, once you've sprayed your penetrating oil on there, is you want to shock it a little bit. Take a hammer, tap it around, give it a few taps here. Now, like I just said, you do not want to put this wrench on there. This is 11 millimeter by the way, and you don't want to try to power it off. You want to do like small impacts. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a hammer. Let me adjust the camera a little bit so you can see a little better. We're going to take a hammer and we're just going to give it little taps like this, and that's kind of helping to shock it to see if we can get it loose. And I can already feel it moving. So now this may well have come off very easily on its own. But the point I'm trying to make, to have any chance of removing these bleeder nuts at all, don't stick a wrench on it and just try to power it off. You'll snap it. Just take a wrench, put your penetrating oil, shock it around a little bit, and then just give it little love taps. You can see it's coming right off. Now we can loosen it right up. Okay, now let's go ahead and try out this impact driver. Okay, friends, to be perfectly honest, I don't know whether this bleeder nut's going to come off easily or not. I've never tried to take it off. I have sprayed it with Kroil, my favorite penetrating oil. And what I've done, I've taken my impact driver and I've put the appropriate size socket on it. And I had to use a 1/2-inch adapter because this socket is only 3/8. And I believe this is a probably a 10 millimeter. Yes, this socket is a 10 millimeter. So what you do is you put it on and you try to give you a good view here. You turn it the direction you want it to go, and then you take a hammer and you tap it. And as you tap, oh, this is coming off very easily. All right, there, it's already loose. Okay, you see how easily that came off because it uses the shock in plus the twisting action at the same time. These you can buy at any hardware store. They're mainly for screws. They have little screw adapters that fit onto it, And if you ever have a rusted Phillips screw that you're trying to get out, these are great for that. But they also work nicely on these bleeder nuts. I've never seen anybody online using these, but they do work very, very well. They've gotten me out of a lot of trouble. All right, the next method I'm going to show you, we're starting to get into a little bit of money. This kit, the cheapest I've seen it is $66, but you'll need an air compressor and an air hammer to utilize it. How it works is you take the handle and you insert it into your air hammer just like you would a normal chisel. And then you select the appropriate size socket, put it on, and you use this handle to turn the bleeder nut as you're operating the air hammer. And the vibration thereby causes the bleeder nut to loosen. Now this will work with extremely rusty bleeder nuts. I have not yet broken a bleeder nut with this system. It works very, very well. So let's try it out. I think it's working. Yep, it worked. Okay, moving along here, the next tool we're going to try out is the laser impact glow plug removal tool. Like I said, it's made for removing glow plugs and diesel motors, but it does work very well for bleeder nuts. Now this tool, you also need an air compressor, and it's probably the most pricey of the tools I've showed you so far. This costs just under $200. I think I paid like 180 bucks, somewhere around there for it. So let's give this one a try. So let's see what happens here. And looks like it's working. Yep, I got it out. It did indeed work. That's pretty amazing. Well, friends, I've decided to show you the thermoshock method last for a reason. I want you to use this method only as an absolute last resort. Brake fluid is highly flammable, and some of your brake calipers are now made out of aluminum. A torch will melt that aluminum before you even know it. So be very careful when you're using this method. Make sure that you have welding gloves and appropriate welding glasses if you're going to utilize this method. So let's go ahead and try this out. So this next method, I'm going to use thermal shock. Make sure you have the appropriate welding glasses on. And what I'm going to do here, you don't need a torch as big as what I've got here, but I'm going to heat just the bleeder nut. And I'm going to aim the heat away from the car. I don't want to heat up any brake lines. Like I told you before, I had a brake line explode on me once and it scared the hell out of me. Alright, I got that pretty well glowing. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my freeze off and cool it really fast. You can use ordinary water too. Alright, we're going to do it again. And just to show you can use ordinary water, I'm going to use water on the next one. Now they recommend you do this 3 times. Try to adjust this till we get a nice neutral flame. We're going to heat it once again. I don't think you have to get it till it's cherry red like I did, but you want to get it nice and hot. And what we're creating is what they call thermal shock. Okay, that's pretty hot. We'll shut that down. We'll squirt it with some cold water. Now we'll do that one more time. They say to do it 3 times. Adjust it to get a nice neutral flame. Heat it up one more time. Okay, we got it glowing. Now we're going to quickly cool it with the cold water. Easy if the water sprayed a little better. There we go. That's better. Have your water so it sprays a little more. So 3 times we've heated this, and 3 times we've quickly cooled it. That creates what we call thermal shock. So now I'm going to take a ratchet. I'm going to see how well it comes out. Yep, cracked right out of there. Alright, so that's loose. So that's using thermal shock. Well friends, before I go, I want to introduce you to my new assistant. He's Shero the German Shepherd. He's 6 months old. I still have my #1 assistant, Hi-Ho, the German Shepherd, but I just want to introduce you to my secondary assistant, Shero. Well friends, that's all I've got here today at Rick's Garage. I hope you enjoyed these 5 different methods for loosening bleeder nuts. Before I go, I'm going to post 2 videos to your left. Should they be of interest, feel free to click on one or the other. And to your right will be a picture of my trusty avatar in the form of my German Shepherd. Please click on that if you wish to subscribe. So thanks again for watching, and we hope to see you all again really, really soon.